Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abdulwakil Abdulkadir, and my topic for you today is LLMs, languages, and culture. For thousands of years, languages have been a vessel of culture. It's a living archive of how we see the world. Every proverb, every idiom, and every lullaby carries not just meaning, but memory. You see, for the first time in human history, now we have large language models, popularly known as AI, which are machines that can learn and understand human language. Now, they understand not just one or two, but virtually all human languages and can also translate between them. And you hear people say that an AI is a translator, but a translator, quite frankly, is also an editor. And when that editor is an algorithm, the stories it tells may no longer sound like ours. Language shapes thoughts. So what that means is depending on what language or set of languages you speak, that defines how you think and how you see things. For example, the Yoruba language, which is one of the local languages in Nigeria, doesn't have a word-for-word translation of the English word privacy. And that's because in the Yoruba culture, community is very central. Another popular example would be the Japanese culture, where they have 4 different levels of politeness when speaking. So for example, the verb go in Japanese is iki. To be more polite, you would say ikimasu. To be even more polite, you would say irashaimasu. To be even more polite, you would say maraimasu. So you see how having a English sentence that may sound very respectful, when translated to Japanese, would even just be the most basic form of respect. To go into some research, University of Connecticut launched a project called Reading Between the Lines, an interdisciplinary glossary for human-centered AI, where they explored how different words like intelligence, learning, and ethics convey different meanings across culture, and why that matters in this day where AI is heavily involved in our daily lives. Another research by John Hopkins and MIT Sloan, where they show that in today's world, large language models still privilege English and other dominant languages during prompting. So having the same prompts would give better results using English and other dominant languages. And you can also, and using less dominant languages would give you biased results or even be able to give you harmful context, which otherwise should not be the case. So this shows that language, being very conscious of language, is foundational in having AI that's inclusive, accurate, and trustworthy at the same time. So where does that leave us? On one hand, we have the case where AI has democratized language in a way where we can have a Turkish child in Istanbul learn physics from a Korean teacher in Seoul. We also have use cases, for example, using AI to preserve endangered languages. But the problem that comes from that is the slow flattening of the human voice. Imagine if the last Spanish speaker today was an AI. Would you consider that preservation or extinction? So maybe the question is not whether AI can understand our language, but the question is whether AI can truly understand and tell our story.